Hi there, and welcome to FM TV, the very best that you will ever get in facilities management and operations management. News, trends, and feature, we've got them all, and you're going to see it first. So, from the FM TV team, myself and Charles David Evans, wishing you a stupendous year in growth and watching. Hi Roland, welcome to FM TV. You're the first person on FM TV, congratulations. Well done. Roland, we'll have to get into Sunburn just now. Tell me what do you feel is the value of being part of an association like SEFMA?
Yeah, SEFMA, if I think back to the early 90s, it was just a few old guys that were getting together, or we were younger in those days, and it was very informal. SEFMA now has got muscle behind it. It's an organization that is helping to build the FM industry. Because FM in the early days, we were seen as janitorial services, handyman services.
Right.
It's now becoming a career for people.
Absolutely, and it's becoming strategic.
It's strategic. There's moves from the basement to the boardroom.
Absolutely.
Buildings that previously the way they were managed to what they manage today is completely different. I mean, there's a lot more strain on buildings. In the old days, people had offices 45, 60 square meters.
Yes.
Now you've got 10, 15 people sitting in that space. So there's a lot more strain on the building, on the assets in the building.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the technology that's coming, the way you manage buildings, the maintenance aspects, the methodologies, everything has changed.
Right. Do you find that there's more buy-in from the top echelon of that sort of management for the FM services?
There has been, and I mean, if you look at early years, it was usually the CFO or the COO secretary that was running the building,
Yes.
and chasing the handymen around or the janitors around.
Yes.
And that has moved. You've now got dedicated people who are just there for the maintenance of a building. So that definitely has changed.
Yes.
And you can see it. I mean, if you look in Europe and you look at some of the universities, there's FM courses. You can do the degrees in it now. And
Yes,
that is improving. And SEFMA is pushing that.
Is it? I know that SEFMA is going for a qualification this year.
Yes.
What qualification will that be?
That is for FM manager. And I think it's an NQF6 level, similar to NQF6, but I think he can give you more details.
Okay. There's like no degree course as such yet, is there?
There are degree courses with University of the Free State.
Oh,
and
there's
then in the Holland they've got some courses. A lot of European universities have degrees in.
Yes. Do you find that there's more interest from people coming into the industry?
Yes.
So I think the whole interest level has changed with the evolution of FM.
Yeah. And we have got contractors out there, technicians.
Yes.
For them, they don't have stay technicians for this stuff. A lot of them now see a career in facilities management, becoming facilities manager.
Absolutely.
Not just being a technician on a
Yes.
site or just fixing things.
So no,
That's in all services, hard and soft services.
hard and soft services. So in the old days where you used to find people falling into FM, just does that still happen on a very regular basis, or do you find more people are seeing it as a career and like going for like sort of FM as a
I
career?
think most of us fell into it by chance.
Did you?
But a lot of people are looking at this career moves now.
Okay.
So it's definitely changed.
Okay. Let's just give a quick punch Sunburn. Okay. You, for anyone watching that doesn't know, you started off October.
We started the FM business in July.
Yes.
7 countries, East Africa and South Africa. We got everything set up. We weren't going to go to market until everything was in place. Our software, our systems, policies, procedures, the works. We have done that. We've gone to market. We have now got 3 contracts under our belt. We've got our ISO certification under our belt. So the expansion is there. We're looking at 3 additional countries that we're going to open up in. So yeah, the market's there. The FM industry is
absolutely
going well.
What do you feel about this coming year? Do you think it's going to be a good year for FM and Sunbird?
I think the FM industry is booming and is going to boom. I think there's a lot of companies that have got in-sourced FM and are looking at outsourcing. So I think the change from in-source to outsource is growing.
Yes.
And there's a lot of potential. And Africa is wide open.
Like you find that there's more like sort of hybrid stuff with like outsource and in-source working together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of technical is being outsourced. Soft service sometimes they're in-sourced, but there's the hybrid, and
yes,
we cater for both. And even where there's in-source companies, just to assist them to put in policies, procedures, and how they should do the FM. We still do that as well. We don't just go for outsourced contracts.
Yes. And I know that Sunbird is also very heavily into training people.
Training is a big thing.
Yeah.
As you've seen the office before, we've got the knowledge center there, but training is a big thing in the Sunbird group.
That's fantastic.
And in all countries.
Tell me, is your FM clock running down? Better get help from the industry professionals fast.
Hi, Cliff.
Morning, Terry. Nice to be back here.
Oh, nice to have you, and welcome to FMTV.
Thank you.
Cliff, your last role you've like been with for quite a long time with SAFMA.
Yeah, I've been involved with SAFMA since the beginning, in fact.
Wow. Okay, when was that?
1998.
1998. How have things changed between then and now?
Well, the first time we spoke about a facilities management association was at a maintenance management conference organised by the IRR in those days, and a few of us got together. There had already been some sort of informal association between guys in the life assurance industry down in Cape Town that were meeting almost as a tea club every now and again. And that was actually the start of what is now SAFMA. Brian Wilkinson from Old Mutual at the time, Chris Munich from Sanlam.
Was like FM just like coming?
Oh, FM was very much in the infancy stages.
Okay,
in
people saying what is FM?
Well, what is FM? What is outsourcing? What is all this stuff about? And the emphasis in those days was very much based on the UK model. And the UK model in those days spoke more about getting rid of your hassles, your non-core issues. Just let somebody else manage them for you from an outsourced perspective.
Yes.
In-house FM was hardly known. I think in those days Liberty Life had an FM department. MedScheme had an FM department that I was the head of. But it wasn't known as FM.
Because I was going to ask you, what were you actually doing as FM in those days?
What FMs do now.
Is it really?
Maybe not as integrated, maybe not as consolidated.
Yes.
But
Did
much
like
less.
the FMs in those days have anything to do with project planning or strategic kind of initiatives?
Yes, definitely.
Really? Okay.
On the in-house front, definitely.
Yes.
By nature or by virtue of what FM was in those days, anything the organisation didn't know what to do with became FM. And I remember vividly in my MedScheme days, I got involved with quite a big construction type project. Just because there was nobody else in the organisation that had any sort of feel for buildings or infrastructure or property or whatever.
And did you have a knowledge of
I learned.
Learn quickly.
I learned quickly.
Like 3 in the morning.
One of the first things I did was I went and found a proper project manager that could manage the project on our behalf. So it wasn't sort of trying to be a project manager without having any expertise. But with any project of any nature, you need the client interface, you need the client representative, and that's essentially what I was. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Do you see SAFMA playing a more vital role as time goes on, especially in this coming year?
Definitely. With any industry, you need an industry body.
Yeah.
We talk about registration with associations. We talk about getting some sort of status around what one is doing. And your first step has got to be membership of an association of sorts.
Absolutely.
You take the Institute of Marketing Management. If you want to move in marketing,
you've got to become a member of the IMM.
Yeah. The same with virtually all industries.
Yes.
And if I look at what SAFMA was in the early days, it was Cape Town based.
Yeah.
Started by as I mentioned earlier, the guys from the life assurance sector, and as it grew, additional industries got involved. But after 2 or 3 years or 4 years of operating, it became obvious that Gauteng was where the action was in terms of facilities management.
Cliff, just a little bit on Wilconox.
Wilconox was
that's your
started.
company, right?
Yeah, that's my business, which was started towards the end of 2010. Hard to believe that it's 6 years already. Focusing primarily on facilities management consultancy services, but not limited to buildings. I see facilities as being anything that has an infrastructure smack to it.
Yes.
Like somebody that managed a toll road, a good friend of mine that managed a toll road, said he had one FM contract that started in Joburg and ended in Maputo.
That's right. It was a 560k
FM contract.
FM
That's what it is. Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Welcome to FMTV. It's
very
really good to have you on this channel, and just hope that we see a lot more of you on this channel too.
Thank you.
Okay. What is your view of SAFMA? How do you see it playing a vital role in the industry?
I think we're the voice of industry.
Yes.
Voice for our members, voice for our FM practitioners, FM professionals, as well as a link between organizations, and the FM industry.
Right.
So,
When did you become a part of SAFMA?
I became a SAFMA member quite a long time ago, probably '98, for a couple of years.
Okay.
Then I fell out, and then about 2 years ago, Paul McChrystal came to me and said, "Do you want to
come back?
Come back, and we're looking for more in-house representation in the SAFMA board."
Okay.
To get a balance between outsourced and in-house.
Okay, because you totally in-house.
I'm
right?
totally in-house.
Okay, do you have any outsourced FM?
We do outsource in terms of the specialized services. So generator service, those type of thing, guarding, security, cleaning.
But project-wise and everything's involved.
Correct. We manage internally, yes.
Okay.
So I've got a small team.
Now you at Discovery.
Correct.
Right. Okay. You've just been there for a while.
16 years.
16 years. Okay. Have you seen FM evolve?
Definitely evolved.
How do you find? What did you find then? How do you find it now?
Then was more, as Cliff alluded to, was more a service provider.
Right.
You know, a grudge purchases. You know, we have to do it, and I think even FM ourselves looked at ourselves in that role.
Yes.
We janitors, we in the background. We're just here to provide a service.
Don't overstep your mark.
Correct. But I think where there's now change, we see ourselves more strategic partners, value add to business. As more and more corporate want to attract the best in the world, and retain people. We the link between that, the facilities that we provide, the service that we provide. So if we take power, when we had the power crisis, all of a sudden FM is on the top. You know, what are you going to do? We became a value partner, because now all of a sudden people appreciated what we provide, or saw a link between the importance of what FM services are and what they do.
Yeah, that obviously gave you an into the C-suite kind of
Correct.
environment.
Correct.
Okay, do you find that is playing a bigger role in it?
It is, because I think there's always been the triple bottom line.
Yes.
Okay, and the FM always felt a bit, as I said, a crash purchase, more on the profit side. You know, so reduce the cost and all of that. But there's still people and planet.
And FM provides to the other.
Correct. So we link to all three of those P's.
Yes.
So from a profit point of view, we're probably the second biggest cost to the third biggest cost.
Okay, so yeah.
So the importance is there. From a people point of view, is about attracting your staff and retaining them. The realization that the people are your biggest cost at the end of the day. So you're spending a lot of money on training, on services, and so how do we retain them? How do we get the most of them?
Yeah.
And with international competition of retaining staff. So how do you attract? So the Google of the world that started to create facilities that attract and retain people and provided a balance between work life and home life.
Okay.
And that's what people were wanting to have.
Yes.
Not so much, yes, money was important, but more about experience.
Yes.
What is the organization going to provide me as an experience?
Absolutely.
Expose me to certain projects. It wasn't so much now about just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And then from a planet point of view, we're also the custodians of those, of all those elements.
Yeah.
And others became more important in a corporate eye, so did FM.
Nathaniel, welcome to FM TV.
Yes, thanks.
It's very good to have you on the show. It's our first show, and I think it's a very auspicious moment to have all the people that we have had coming on. It forms a kind of very good basis and grounding for the show. Right, you're the new chairman of SAFMA.
That's correct.
Okay, what does your role actually entail in the nuts and workings of SAFMA?
Okay, so, well, initially I started off for the regional chapters development of SAFMA before becoming chairman. And that started in around about 2013. And as of this year, stepped into the vice president role and then grew into the presidency, which is our sort of succession planning for SAFMA.
Okay.
That's our process.
So you've actually been involved with SAFMA for quite a while?
Yeah, since 2013, but I've been a member much longer than that.
No.
On a personal level.
Yes. What class of value do you see in membership of SAFMA?
For me, SAFMA has been set up to be an inclusive organization and knowledge sharing center where like-minded people can share ideas, learn from each other, gain experience. And obviously, there's the professionalization part of it, which is becoming an increasingly important function.
Absolutely.
For the public and the private sector.
Yes.
If you want to be recognized as a professional service provider, it's an important body to be a part of. If you want to be recognized as a professional individual, it's equally important.
Right. And of course, there's also this qualification.
Yes.
That's kind of just like very important. Do you see the sort of academic recognition of SAFMA becoming playing a sort of bigger role in the universities offering like some kind of a degree or some kind of qualification in SAFMA?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's growing interest. As SAFMA, we receive many requests for us to go through the various sort of degrees and learnership courses from these institutions. We are not training service providers,
Yes.
but we do endorse training material from time to time.
Okay. So there's a bigger awareness out there
Yeah.
of the need for professional training. Okay. So what sort of courses does SAP provide at this stage?
SAFMA does not provide any training.
Okay, but you point people in that direction.
Point people in the direction, provide leadership and guidance and advice on the training material, on the workshop material,
Okay.
and so on.
Yeah.
We do not aim to be a service provider in terms of training.
Okay.
We're a professional body of knowledge.
Okay. So people turn to you for that kind of
For advice.
Okay. Speaking of the annual congress, okay, that's a very important part of your sort of yearly activities, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me any kind of teaser, details of who will be involved this year, or will this sort of coming year? In the form of speakers.
The international conference, or our annual conference, has grown significantly over the years. And in the last 2 to 3 years, the number of international speakers has grown significantly, which means we're getting global presence now.
Yes.
Also through our memberships with other global organizations. I wouldn't want to mention any names specifically,
Yeah.
but we have a high impact session ready for next year.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's something really great that people have got to
It's
look
exciting,
forward to
it's new.
2017.
It's exciting, it's new, it's different.
Yeah.
And I think the focus is, FM has moved from just, oh, these guys clean our offices and they paint our walls and so on, to a more strategic role where we're saying, actually, these guys are an important part of our business.
Yes, yes.
Without them, the organization falls over.
Absolutely. And does the Congress content reflect that?
It is.
Okay.
It does.
You got overseas speakers coming?
Yes, we have a few.
That's fantastic. When is it again, the Congress?
If I'm not mistaken, it's in May this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right, May 2017.
2017.
Okay.